This is episode 82 of Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Casey Franchini. Casey is the founder of Brick by Brick Wealth. She's a real estate investor, a mom of three, and she's been doing this for 20 years. Can't wait to talk to her. Casey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I am really excited to be here today.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. And your journey has been a long one. When you first think of the time where you thought, real estate, how old were you and how did it happen?
Oh my gosh. Well, my my dad bought a crack house when I was in 8th grade. And that was the house that we fixed up for 10 years. And so I learned a lot, tons about how to fix houses. And I will tell you, I hated the Home Depot trips. I hated them with a passion. I hated having to paint and install windows and hang drywall and all these things. But I learned a lot. And once, the house is kind of done and I'm in my early 20s, I'm in college, I just had this it was just I loved houses. I wanted to see them. And living in Southern California at the time, in the early 2000s, there was tons of new builds, before the housing crash, tons of new builds. I mean, zillions. And I would drive 2 hours to see new builds. And so every open house that I would see, they allowed open house signs back then. Oh, they still do, but they don't out here where I am.
Yeah.
So it's easy to go find open houses on the weekends. And I just loved houses. It was just something in me that just loved real estate. And it wasn't until after college and I had my first job and that didn't work out. And I said, you know what? I need something better. And so something more flexible, something that I'm in love with. Why not real estate? So I became a real estate agent in my early 20s. And I started finding flips for investors. That's kind of how it all started. And I didn't want to be a flipper because I thought, well, you need a lot of cash. And I was working with flippers that, were flipping $1 million homes. I'm like, $1 million cash? I didn't know about, those types of loans and creative financing at the time. So when my husband and I moved to, well, it was before we moved to Memphis, actually. When we were in California, we started making some offers on rental properties. But so I got in a long time ago and really loved real estate, but I always thought it was too expensive for me. So that was my early introduction.
I love talking about markets, and I want to get your take on how you look for that market that's kind of the up and coming one. You can go on social media and on all websites and you're going to hear all the big names. Everybody should go here. Got to go to Boise, got to go to Austin, got to do Nashville. But how are you finding the towns behind the towns? Because that's what I like. I like finding the town that's close, but not there yet.
So first, we have to find major metro market, right? You want the areas to be sustainable. You want them to have at least 3 different types of employment. Not all tourism, not all hospitals, not all schools, right? 3 different major sources of employment. And usually these major cities are so big that when you open Google Maps, you're going to see dots and names. Like this is how big they are. Not some tiny little city with a 20,000 population. So you find your major metro market, the draw. Are businesses coming there? Are there tax advantages for businesses to come here? Or is population increasing or decreasing? What's the median income? What's the poverty level? I look at all these things for the major area, and then you look outward. And you want to be in a place that is going to increase in value. Well, what makes a place increase in value? Desirability. People want to move there, right? So what makes people want to move to certain areas? Yes, location, being close to the major metro area, right? Acceptable driving distance, but also quality schools and no crime. Those are the 2 key components that are going to get you a neighborhood that appreciates. So, okay, great. I found this neighborhood and it's $400,000 for a house. Well, that's not going to cash flow. Okay. So I have found that you need to be in a market that has single family homes under $200,000 in order to cash flow. I have yet for anyone to prove me wrong. Of course, if you put 100% down, it will cash flow. But anything 20, 25% down, it should cash flow. If it's under 200,000, that not anything, but those are the markets where you'll find cash flow. So you got to look for the good crime, the low crime areas, and the good schools. And you'll be looking in starter neighborhoods. Where are college graduates gonna get married, gonna start a family? Where are they looking? Where is the entry level neighborhood to the amazing city that they're gonna go to Target and Walmart? Walmart. Target and Kohl's, or, where's the Lululemon store? So what is the little tiny suburb or neighborhood in that amazing area? That is the area where you're going to find appreciation, because you'll have more owners than renters. People are going to be fixing up the properties, increasing the value, and they'll be going from sometimes those gentrified C neighborhoods to B neighborhoods. So my opinion is kind of look for that. And that's where you'll find long-term equity growth over, 10, 15 years.
I'm always watching to see, like, I mean, people use this Starbucks Whole Foods mentality, but it's because it works. They've done more demographic research than we'll ever do as, smaller investors. So they know. So if you can catch wind of something like that early, or anything, Trader Joe's, something that's going to create that, that's definitely a place to look. But it's important that you said you still want to be near a metro. And we learned during the pandemic that, look, a lot of people are going to, they just made the jump out quicker because they didn't have to go back to work. But there's still always going to be the subset. I'm in Jersey, so we do a lot of business in Jersey City. They come from New York City, the Jersey City or Hoboken, and then they come out to the suburbs where I am, and then they come further to the suburbs where I am now. And that is where you can follow the trajectory of what you said, appreciation with steady cash flow, if you can do it both ways. When
Agree.
Yeah. What so I know that I know that you left California because it was going to be better in Memphis overall for family profitability, but is California such a tough market to invest for new investors because the price points are ludicrous?
Yeah,
Is that something?
it's
Go
not
ahead.
possible. I mean, it's really not. I mean, when we left there in 2013, so 10 years ago, a starter condo was $400,000. Like, if
Yeah.
I was going to buy a place, when I was in my late 20s, it would be a starter condo, 400,000. And I didn't make enough money at the time to pay for a $400,000 place. And, rents just weren't matching it. Now, I have all my friends and family are still in California, still in Southern California. And the rents there are astronomical, but still not as high as the cost to buy the properties.
Yeah.
So, and besides even the prices of properties, it is not landlord friendly. I mean, tenants have more rights than you do. So why would you invest such a large chunk of your savings into a property you don't really have control over? I'd rather, put my money in a state that wants me there, that appreciates the value that I'm providing tenants,
Yeah.
that California and other, states like that are just not desirable for the bottom line.
So how did you get going on your journey to get to, are you strictly single family rentals, or did you ever go to multi?
So out here in Memphis, there really is not any multifamily. And the multifamily that there is, it's in the hood. And you don't want to buy there. Either that or is some beautiful high-rise, expensive condo buildings that I'm not
Yeah.
wanting to invest in. So there really isn't any, small multifamily out here. I have students that invest in the Midwest a lot, and even some in New Jersey and New York, which I wouldn't go there on my own because of, it's very tenant friendly. But
Yeah.
a lot of those properties in the Midwest, which I help my students with, they are older, and man, those early 1900 houses come with a lot of maintenance. And
Structural.
structured basements, no thanks. So, and the cash flow is there, but again, the appreciation is not there as much, at least for small multifamily.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with single family, and my rents go up pretty nicely, and my appreciation, like the values, goes up really well. And I prefer it. I'm not opposed to multifamily if there was a good deal and it was the right property. And I have a lot of students that buy multifamily. But for me right now, where I am, I like my single family.